If he make you feel like $100 bill, say, oh, oh, say, oh, oh. Y'all, I cannot help myself. Every time I think about them battling over this $100 bill, I'll be thinking about the late great Whitney Houston and her $1 million bill song. So it just sends me every time I see Maurice trying to shake Stormy down for this $100 bill. Ah, oh Lord, have mercy. I don't even listen. Baby, let me tell you something. I'm so entertained by this episode. I was through and through. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you I'm gonna give it a 10 for the entertainment of it alone. Okay. If I got to see Maurice, uh first of all, first of all, why can I see? Hold on. I know y'all wondering what you talk. What Richie? What you doing today? What? How is you starting off like this? Why is you doing all of these things? Well, I'm about to tell you, okay? Because when I can see the shadows among us, all right, and by shadow. Why are they arguing behind the screen? Don't y'all know we can see y'all? Don't y'all know we can see y'all? It's so much to unpack in this episode. Let's get right into it. We still talking. Oh, this episode is called "Give Black to the Community." This episode right here of this recap is sponsored and brought to you by Black. Okay, with a Q to the U to the E. Okay. Um, if he make you feel like $100 bill, say oh, oh, say oh, make you go left, right, up, down. Stormy is mad about this man trying to play her over this $100 bill. Okay, she got a multi-million-dollar order to get out, and she ain't got time for these type of shenanigans and carryings on. She volunteered her time to be here. Okay, and she came in without a full face of makeup on. She only had her mama and a friend to help her set up her stage, and that's all she got to do. You know what I'm saying? And she got to get up there and on stage and speak and everything. And now you come chasing me around for this $100 bill that you ain't tell me about the other day. Oh no. And then she tells him, like, and you don't even want to see Courtney on this because Courtney about to be up involved in this thing right here. Okay. I got a feeling this might go a little bit differently than Lewis versus um Marsau. But also, it's definitely going much different than Tiffany versus Marsau. Because Stormy is she not letting her canvas beauty collection off of his neck, okay, about how unprofessional this is to be coming for this $100 bill on this day and at this time when she's already stressed and got things to do, okay? She got to go put on another wig. She got to go, she got to do the things. And so she's like, did you get the sponsorship that y'all wanted? Maurice is like, no, we did not. And Storm is like, okay, well then I understand now why you chasing me down and trying to shake me down for this $100 bill. If you don't get up out of my face, um, she's like, why don't we do this? Why don't we donate the $100 bill? How about that? Let's donate it. Give it to somebody who needs it. Marsau is like, we need it. Okay, we need it. Give me your money. So Melody and Marcus are heading to the event. Mel intends to stop by to support, but she really wants to congratulate Latisha on a great event. And the people, well, really, Marcus wants to know if Martell is going to be there. And she's like, I'm going to ignore him. It does look like the expo is expoing. Okay. It's people there. It looks like it is a success. Okay. Marsau does complain about the one vendor who didn't pay their $100 bill. All right. He tried to shake her down, but it was no dice. Martell is trying to find his brother a mentor, And, Mel arrives and she's got the good energy. She's ready to shop till she drops. Maurice is like, yo, where is your wine, Martell? Why didn't you bring some of the anesthetist? And so at that point, Martell says, well, I ain't want to bring my wine because I ain't want to be selfish or whatever like that. Selfish? This is the time for you to sell, okay? Sell. Okay, it's not selfish for you to try to sell your wine that you've been trying to sell all season. So why wouldn't you bring some bottles, pop some bottles, unless you ain't got it or something like that? I mean, what you can't order some samples and have some brought. Anyway, Maurice is like, I know that Mel was the brains behind the marketing of any of their operations because Martell just ain't got that kind of marketing savvy or whatever. But he did come dressed in a suit. So I'll give him that one. All right. Lewis and Tiffany arrives, and Martell is like, Lewis, is you speaking at the expo? Tiffany's like, well, we just heard about this thing 2 days ago. So we see a flashback of the group calling, I guess, Tiffany while they were visiting the space. And Marsau says he's surprised that Tiffany is there because he thought that she was on the bed rest. And he thinks it's odd that she's trying to get a speaking spot now, given that she is with her pregnancy. Now, Tiffany later on is going to tell a different story. So we just going to have to figure out who lying, who denying, and who doing what, because I don't quite understand it. You know what I'm saying? I'm confused on, what really actually occurred. And I'm having to listen to 2 different accounts from 2 people who sometimes, I don't know if they always get the stories right. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, some woman, I didn't like this moment at all. Okay. And some of y'all are gonna call me sensitive in the comment section. And I'm willing to argue. I mean, barely. All right. Barely, because in case you didn't know. All right. What's today? Let me see. What is today? What is today? Oh, today just so happens to be July 16th, my birthday. So it's highly unlikely that I'm going to argue with you in the comment section today or any other day for that matter, because I'm out here trying to live my best life. And so as a result, you are getting a pre-recorded video today. All right. But you can still feel free to argue because this pissed me off. So a woman stops Martell and she's like, ooh, stop, sir. I have products that can help women have babies and have women, and it could also help prevent babies. Now, I don't know what the thing is to help prevent the babies. But what he says is, oh, you said you can prevent having babies? It's what he says next that just sent me into a little bit of a spiral, because he says, oh, I should have sent you a long time ago. Sent or seen or whatever. Because the reason I hate this comment is because it sounds as though like at least one of those children he regrets having. And what I'm assuming, I can only assume that it's one of those. And either way, I feel like for the father to say that, I feel like it's callous, careless, reckless, because should the child ever hear that, I just think that it's just wrong. Now, there could be plenty of parents out there who feel the same way about their children. I don't know. But to say it on television for it to live in perpetuity is, I think, just bad. It's in poor taste. It left a sour taste in my mouth. I don't even have no kids, but I can only imagine it's a small thing that was said, but it was shown, and I know that it just don't sound right to me. Okay? So, there we go. We learned that Kimmy had treatment today, on this day at least, and they're hopeful that she'll be able to come and at least sit and talk to the people. Marcus, who is Melody's brother, has an awkward run-in with Martell, who, asks, well, how can you and Mel make things better, between the two of you guys? And Martell says, he hopes that Mel's guard can come down a bit, in her own time. And, maybe with Marcus's support, Marcus is like, me? Support? You? Houseway? And so Martell is like, supporting your sister and doing what you can for the kids. And so the producers, it's perfection. They show us the flashbacks of Martell basically not wanting. To me, it gives a little bit of, the homophobia to me. But what I can say is that every parent has a right to choose when their kids are exposed to something or not. That's what I can say. So I can agree on however you choose to parent is however you choose to parent. And when you choose to introduce certain aspects of life to your child, it's completely up to you. I ain't here to deny that or anything like that. But what I'm talking about is how Martell feels about it. And how Martell feels, I'm gonna tell you, always gives me a little bit on the phobic side. But that's just me. Okay. Now, we get Martell walking away, feeling like he's not feeling Marcus, and like Marcus was taking some little digs at him. Montez, who is Martell's brother, shows up, and Kimmy arrives right after her radiation, but she's looking good. We see Montez speak with Melody, and there's like an emotional, moment there for her. They catch up. It's a nice little moment. Stormy is stressed because she gets a call because there have been some mislabelings on this huge shipment that they have. So she's already stressed, but still got to get up on stage and speak. Tiffany stops by to check in on her, and that's when she learns that there was some disorganization about the monies. Okay, the money for the vendors. Okay, because Stormy's still upset about that $100 bill, y'all, and so Tiffany was like, well, it seems unorganized. And, according to Tiffany, Marsau asked her if she was speaking at the event. So, according to Marsau, he's shocked that Tiffany would want to speak at the event, but Tiffany is telling us that Marsau was asking her about speaking at the event. So, which one is it, and who's more reliable, i.e., who do you believe? So then Tiffany's like, I didn't know anything about this until like 2 days ago. And Stormy thinks that the whole thing was half baked. So Kimmy speaks to Melody and tell her, she's all the way in the corner in the bike. I don't know why they got Kimmy so far in the bike ground. She might be behind Stormy's booth. I don't know. Anyway, the group, I think it was Maurice, asked Martell about Sheree. Okay. Now, at this moment, all right, I gotta bring up I'm gonna bring up the thumbnail because this is Martell's face as he's talking about Sheree. And basically, he's like, oh, she's in LA visiting a friend, and she ain't been answering the phone. Okay. She apparently the phone went dead, and it's been dead for like the past 3 hours, and he ain't heard from her. But that's still his friend girl or whatever like that. I mean, honestly, why not throw a little bit of, date who you want into this alleged relationship? I mean, why don't we just make it polyamorous? You know what I'm saying? And that way you guys can just simply say we're together, but we're also with whomever else we want to be with. You know what I'm saying? Make it poly, please. You know what I'm saying? Polyamories, polyester, as Homeboy said on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Okay. That's a shout out to Chaotic. In case you saw that episode this past week, shout out if you did. Let me know in the chatterization if you understand what I'm talking about with the polyester. So let me know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's giving freedom to do what we like in this relationship. It's giving we're never in the same place at the same time in this relationship. It's giving stage photography in this relationship. It's giving when she comes to Huntsville, she doesn't stay with me in this relationship. It's given a lot of those things in this relationship. So why not? Why be surprised that she's not picking up the phone, allegedly? Okay. I mean, let's just go with it because I feel like that's where we're being led. So we will just go with it. That's his friend girl, not his girlfriend. Not to be confused with his girlfriend. Not to be confused with a life partner. Not to be confused with a relationship. Oh, my bad. I'm going down. I'm digressing. It's me. I blame myself because it's my birthday. Shenanigans. It is what it is. All right. She ain't there. So anyway, backstage, did I see a Madonna sign? Was it me or did I not see? I could have swore for God, and I got the receipts to pull it up here, that I saw the Madonna sign. So does that mean that Destiny was somewhere in the building, or maybe she was just the sponsor of the events? Okay. Because that sure enough looks like Madonna to me. All right. But y'all let me know if y'all had spotted Destiny anywhere in the crowd. Okay. Why didn't they ask her to speak? Okay. I mean, why? Why? Anyway, backstage. Why can I see this? Why is this on the camera? Why is this on my screen? Why are they not organized? Why are they arguing behind the stage while they are all mic'd? Why? Meanwhile, they're talking about the $100 bill, the shakedown. Martell starts tripping because Mel out there. Now he don't want to speak. And I'm like, why don't you want to speak? Because she there. What does that matter? I mean, I don't understand. Anyway, apparently everybody can see them arguing. Marsau is not shocked that Martell has changed his mind, but I guess, he didn't want to speak with her in the audience. I really don't know. All I know is that they finally call him to the stage and he does come out. All right. It seems like a nice little question and answer type session is going on. And, there is a little bit of a hiccup when a venture capitalist asks, about raising VC funds. And Marsau is kind of like tongue tied with answering, which is interesting to Tiffany because that is her area of expertise. She has raised about 3 million in the past, maybe a month, past minute or so. Anyway, honestly, according to what we'll learn later. And so the event goes so well that Marsau thinks that they should do a couple of these on the road. I would actually be here for that. I think that would be a really, really good idea and a good way to give back. And it's probably a good tax write-off for them as well. And so anyway, Stormy is home on the range where the deer and the antelope graze. Because, she got the farm. And so she's in the bed talking with Courtney about this $100 bill. He don't like it. All right. She want to know if he gonna say something to Marsau, tell him to stop being a little bi coming out the women's and whatnot. He said he gonna say something, just not today because he tired. You know what I'm saying? I hope he don't feel like you got to work up the nerve to say something to Marsau. I mean, Marsau do got the big some clapbacks. Now we'll talk about those clapbacks at some point in time, but he always comes ready too. So that's gonna be interesting. He does go into the reason why he don't want to have another, child with her specifically having the baby because it was so traumatic for him last time to see her go through so much. And so they decide ultimately on the surrogacy route being the way to go for her safety. And I feel like that's a pretty good idea. All right, so Tiffany gathers the girls for a little girls' lunch. All right, and she wants to express to Leticia her disappointment with not being invited to do the speaking, and she wants to give some feedback on the event. Now, as soon as it's just her, Leticia, Kimmy, and Stormy. Okay. Now, Tiffany really leans into this idea of not knowing about the event, but apparently being asked for sponsorships. Okay. And she feels like the Whitlows were left out. Girl, it sounds like you might have wanted to be left out of this one. I mean, go ahead and be left out of this first one so they can get the kinks worked out. You know what I'm saying? Because you done seen Stormy she got, you know what I'm saying, for that $100 bill. So she's not gonna let that one go. Okay, clearly, Casper, she's not gonna let it go. So, um, at this point, Kimmy says they weren't left out, but Tiffany says she got the message the day before. Okay, and Tiffany can do things in real time because she's a real time girl. Okay, and I give you the snaps because that's what she did. I don't know why, and I don't know what it was supposed to mean. But she would have liked to have a seat at the table, but just not to be a part of the comeback group, which I guess what she was saying was like, hey, I have an area of business expertise that I could help you in. And, it would have just been nice to be invited, kind of like how Stormy was. But to be honest, was Stormy really invited because they wanted her, or was she invited mostly because Mel was not going to be there? I mean, that's also a thing that has to be considered in this. And how does Stormy feel about that now that she's seen it? So at this point, Leticia was like, well, Tiffany, I honestly don't even know what you do, girl. I really don't. I know that Lewis has the baseballs and things. And honestly, I was with Leticia. I was like, girl, I don't know what you do either. I mean, I know you always on that computer working and stuff, and you're traveling, you're speaking to people and stuff like that. But to be quite honest with you, I think we need I think I need some subtitles about what Tiffany Whitlow does. Like, can they put it in the lower third right here where you see DJ Richie Skye? Text me at 202-918-3386. Follow me on Instagram and IG and the face place at DJ Richie Skye. Then you see in the scroll right here, all commentary is alleged. Maybe what they need to do is for Tiffany, put her occupation down there in the scroll at the bottom on the next episode. Okay. That's possibly what we can do so we can get that title. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know nothing about what she do other than she done raised $3 million or something like that. So anyway, Stormy is like, Leticia must be playing to act like she don't be knowing what Tiffany do. And for this to have been in the works for weeks, and for the event to very much give unprofessional and junior prom. Okay. So she does not appreciate being asked on the day of for this $100 bill. And Leticia was like, well, I didn't like that he did that, but I also didn't like how you responded. Now, I can't tell you how to respond. She did say that. But but she says she didn't like how Stormy responded in a business setting. And she felt like Stormy could have communicated better. And Stormy tells her, you won't on any day tell me how to respond if I want to respond a certain type of way. So Leticia is like, girl, what the F is your problem? Okay. So I feel like in that moment, I feel like Leticia has stepped out of the scene and was like, no, for real, for real. Girl, what the F is your problem? Okay. Because it sounds like it's something else. And so Stormy starts to do a little like something strange to me. It was like, I'm just trying to figure out where the decor was at. What was the decor? What was the decor, sweetie? Where was the decor? So apparently she was just being sarcastic, I'm assuming. And she tells Leticia, this whole conversation went left when you're trying to tell me how I can or cannot speak to your husband. And the fact of the matter is, what she also ends up saying is that, Leticia, you weren't even there when he first approached me. So you cannot tell me and dictate how I respond to how someone comes at me. And for that, I kind of agree with. You know what? You understand what I'm saying? For me, what I felt like, Stormy was already stressed. I feel like she's putting up all of this stuff. She's trying to get everything done. And also, she's kind of split because her team is also committed to something else really, really big for her business. So for her to be doing both, for it to be televised, you want it to be right. You understand what I'm saying? So then you got somebody coming up to you saying, "Hey, give me your money. Give me your money." It's kind of like it's not the $100 that it is. I think it's the principle behind it. Like, bro, like don't you? This is not what you do. You don't come to somebody like during the setup of a process. That's like for me when I used to DJ. Don't come to me with an issue before I'm about to go on with my set. I don't care what it is. Just don't come to me with nothing before I'm about to go on and perform for people. That's how I used to feel back in the day. Like, don't do that to me. And actually, don't come to me with no bad news after my performance. You come to me the next day. Okay? How about that? So anyway, um, so Letitia's like, speak your mind, sis. What's your problem? And Stormy tells her, you're not gonna tell me how to respond to nobody. And Leticia get the beating on that table about I didn't try to tell you how to respond. Okay. But you kind of are trying to tell her how to respond a little bit. I also understand Letitia's stance, right? Like, I think Leticia is so used to dealing with Marsau that she forgets that Marsau operates in a way that it may work for Leticia, but it don't work for Stormy. And she let him know that too. Like, and he was definitely trying to play in her face even afterwards. And she was letting him know, you ain't doing that either. So I feel like what Leticia also has to learn is, girl, everybody ain't gonna respond to your husband the way that you do because you know where he's coming from and somebody else don't. It's like somebody saying something, somebody who is not familiar doing something that's real familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't there yet. You know what I mean? So Stormy also tells her and the table that you didn't see how this man approached me, so don't speak on it. So Leticia feels like she should be able to tell her friend how she feels about what she did. And Stormy's like, well, we not there yet, girl. I said, now this is interesting. So it gets even more interesting, baby, because Leticia says, if I spoke to your husband in a certain type of way, you wouldn't like it. And Stormy says, you ain't crazy enough to do that. Okay. I was like, no, I said, now this we are on point with, because I felt like this was like, yo, like, what's up? Like, and what I like is that I feel like Stormy is shaking the table on this group in a way that's like, yo, like, I'm not gonna put up with the same things that a lot of y'all put up with, which is like how Marsau speaks to people. It's not gonna work for me. It may work for you, it may work for you, but it's not gonna work for me, and it's not gonna work here, and you're not gonna tell me how to respond either. Okay. So at that point, Letitia's like, well, you don't know me either. The old Leticia would have jumped across this table. And Stormy's like, well, do it then. Get active. She said, I mean, she said it. Do it. Get active. Okay? Get active. Let's see it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Y'all better take us back to Stormy versus Destiny, baby. Because I was like, this thing is getting good. But instead, Leticia says, you know what? I'm out of here. And her and Booty get to walking up. They get the sashaying up out of there. And it is what it is at this point. It's up and it's stuck, baby. At least until that second half of the season. All right. We got to talk about that. Like, that's a whole nother video, baby. That's it, woo! Woo! Okay. That's all I got to say. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this mid-season finale for the Love and Marriage Huntsville. I am thoroughly pleased on my birthday. Okay. So, send a little send your boy some birthday love in the form of just a nice little, word to me or to somebody else. Compliment somebody today. Give somebody a hug today. That's really all I want for y'all to do to celebrate me today. Is give somebody a hug and tell somebody you love them. You know what I'm saying? Spread a little love, do the things, have a little fun today. If you can, have a shot for me. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.